Frederick Bremer, and today I will be discussing my first case study on the marketing portfolio channel, which will be the O-ring effect and the O-ring in itself. So to tell you and to start off the discussion on the O-ring, I want to first tell you what the O-ring is. The O-ring is the most sensitive part of a product. And the most sensitive part of the product is usually what drives it to its limits. These could be a really small part in a spacecraft or in a Ferrari. However, this particular part is what allows the product, for example, to go to its maximum and is the limit. This can be seen as an advantage or disadvantage depending on how you take it. But why are we going to connect it to marketing? Well, marketers use the O-ring to determine how to market the product. And this is very important. When you are looking and when you are involved in marketing a very sensitive product, a product which is limited by a very small part, you do not want to make this aware to the customer. And the reason you don't want to make it aware to the customer is because that would help the customer understand the product and might, change his or her minds on the purchase of the product. But what marketers do, and what marketers are very well at doing, is hiding the most sensitive part of a product and concealing what its limits are, so that the purchaser, the customer, is always more inclined to buy a product because he feels like it's almost limitless. And the way they hide the O-ring, the most sensitive part of the product, is very often with everything that comes with the product, which is, especially customer service and packaging, and all the small little things that you can add to a product is what makes the customer believe that is the entire product. When in actual fact, the company pays extremely small amounts of money to create that extra, smart part of the product, like packaging or customer service. Hence, you see the O-ring a lot in luxury brands. Luxury brands are always very often handmade, are always cars, for example, which are done by hand and are signed, and because they are done by human expertise, they have faults, or they aren't always perfect. However, if you consider alternative products which are built by machines, usually they are not exposed to the O-ring effect as often. So you have luxury brands which are always more likely to be exposed to the O-ring effect, and hence they are very expensive. But as a customer, we do not notice this O-ring because very often everything that comes with the luxury brand is also, in our minds, part of the product, if that makes sense. So when I buy a Ferrari, I will receive excellent care, everything else that has to do with the Ferrari, and I'll pay lots of money for it. And that's how marketers or companies make a lot of money, by hiding this O-ring and really making you pay for everything around it as well. And I think that's really interesting, and I think customers should need to know about this, because when people buy products, you got to keep in mind what you're actually paying for. And as a concept in itself, it is quite interesting, and I would like to share this with you. If there's any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Share the video, and thank you very much for listening. Additionally, when you consider the O-ring effect, you should think of 3 keywords, which is luxury brands, customer service, packaging, and sensitivity, which is, the reason why the O-ring exists, the most sensitive part of a product.